Hi everyone and welcome to the weekly update with me, Rich Perry, market analyst at Hansack Markets. Each week I take you through the key events I believe will be driving your investments in the coming days. Now obviously over the weekend we had this terrorist attack in London, and it sort of adds to the whole volatility I think around this general election in the UK. It sort of makes polling increasingly difficult because there are incredibly tough questions for both leaders to answer on the security side, and security could come to be one of the major factors driving the election result. So it makes the final week of in the run-up to the election increasingly difficult to call, I believe. So it's going to be probably an issue whereby the Forex market, say for example cable, become increasingly sort of range bound, because markets will be, or traders will be less likely to take a big view ahead of the election result, with the results so up in the air. Now we've also got the ECB this week. Will the ECB take the first step towards normalisation? The ECB is on Thursday, and they're expected to start to suggest that the balance of or the outlook going forward, or risks to the outlook, are increasingly balanced, and that would suggest that that is the Governing Council taking that first step towards normalisation, with a view to potentially announcing a tapering later on in the year. So that would likely to be seen in this meeting. And will it drive the euro higher? Well, the euro has had a strong run in front of this ECB meeting, but whether the upside potentially is still there to go forward, I believe it is. But we could see a bit of a knee-jerk, a little bit of a pullback, but I think pullbacks would remain to be an opportunity to buy on the euro, because I think there is further upside. Now, looking at these Forex markets, we see the euro dollar, which has continued to push higher, closed strongly again on Friday, breaking out to multi-month highs. It's pulled back a little bit on Monday morning, but I still think it is a pullback into a buying area. I think there's decent support around a long-term pivot at 111. I think the long-term chart target gives us 113.50, but there is further possibility of gains in due course as well. So euro dollar still looking strong. Now cable is a difficult one to call. As I said, it's going to be dependent on the election, dependent on how big a majority the Tories get, or whether they get a majority at all. I think an increase in majority would need to be a strong increase for cable to go strongly higher from here. I think a marginal increase in majority, say to 30 to 50 seats, which is my expectation, I think that would sort of generate cable trading between 126 and 130. In terms of a hung parliament, that would be the worst case scenario, because that would create this massive uncertainty going forward with regard to Brexit and how the negotiations are dealt with, and it would certainly see the value of sterling falling quite significantly. Now in terms of dollar yen, we've had the dollar weakness which has been ongoing. You've seen treasury yields which are falling away, certainly on the 10-year, as the US data has disappointed. And I think that is impacting on the dollar, and that continues to see dollar yen struggling to get any sort of upside traction. It's now sort of stuck underneath the 111.60 pivot again, and it looks like it's potentially going to be testing the support around 110 area. So moving on to indices, well, equity markets have been very strong in recent sessions. There had been sort of consolidating, but Thursday into Friday last week they pushed strongly higher. Certainly Wall Street did, followed by a breakout on the DAX. Nice one on the CAC as well. FTSE had already been broken out, but FTSE's starting to form some sort of consolidation in front of the election, but that consolidation could turn into a correction. We're seeing uptrend broken today. We're seeing momentum indicators just rolling over. Could this end up in being a bit of a corrective move? There's a nice band of support around 7,000, sort of 497, but certainly the support initially of last week's low, if that gets broken, that would complete a little bit of a sort of a reversal pattern. Could see a bit of a corrective move, but I think the market will be very much dependent on this election. In terms of the other equity markets, with, as I said, strong breakouts, but again, can they sustain the moves? It seems as though that corrections continue to be bought into, so equity markets still remain in that bull run. Now in terms of commodity prices, we've seen gold, which is pulling on higher, using this weakness in the dollar as a sort of generation for further gains. We saw the breakout on Friday on the back of that weak non-farm payrolls report, and certainly the gold price continues to remain on course to testing that April high of 1295. Support keeps coming in at higher levels. We've seen the pivot at 1261 being supportive now. That is growing as a basis of support, and it certainly looks like corrections remain a chance to buy. Now the oil price is a difficult one, because at the moment we're seeing the market just unwinding the expectations of that OPEC oil meeting. The oil price fell away quite sharply in the back of the OPEC meeting. Could they have done more to curb the supply and production numbers going forward? Did they do enough to really impact the market? It certainly seems as though the oil market is questioning, or oil traders are questioning that at the moment. And also now we're seeing that Qatar has been sort of ostracised, and it seems as though that that could again call into question the efficiency of the OPEC production cuts, and whether they are actually sort of taken up by all countries. Perhaps Qatar could sort of renege on that now, and that's what I think the markets are sort of questioning today as the oil price has fallen away again. So in terms of what we're looking forward to next in the next few days, as I said, the main focus throughout this week is monetary policy from the ECB. We've also got the RBA, which is not expected to move on rates, but the ECB is the main focus, I think, for risks in the coming days, and certainly that will drive the euro. Certainly could drive movements on the DAX and the CAC as well. So watch out for that. UK election on Thursday. We're not expecting much volatility on Thursday, but then Thursday night, when we get the exit polls coming out at 10 o'clock, and then overnight we could see a lot of movement on sterling, and then on Friday a lot of movement on the FTSE 100. So watch out for that. And with that in mind, I wish you good luck in your trading throughout the week, and I'll speak to you next time. Thank you.